Hello, hello. Welcome to this episode of the Rogers Radio Podcast. I am your host, Alyssa Rogers, and this is the episode where some people call spill the tea, some people call it an inside view of Rogers, some people call it the monthly recap. Whatever you want to call it, you have me today talking about all of the amazing things that happened at Rogers and in my life in the month of June. So let's get started. So June, I first want to start this episode by thanking everyone that listened to every episode that we've done, but especially the one that I posted with the recap of May and the month of gut punches. I want to sincerely say thank you for everyone that reached out after that episode. I had an outpouring of love by so many of you. I had hundreds of messages, hundreds, isn't that wild? Hundreds of messages from people saying that they're there for us, they appreciate what we do, and sharing experiences that they've gone through in moments of running a business or in moments of life and when it was hard. And you'll never know how much that means to me, and I appreciate each one of you so much. You're the reason that I sit here and be vulnerable every month and every week with you, just letting you know what's really going on and what happens when you're running a business or you're living your life or things are going wrong. I have really gotten out of my comfort zone in making sure that I'm open and honest with everyone. And what it has done for me is knowing that we have a community here of people that go through things just like everyone else, and why not be there for each other? And it made me really realize, you're going to have people that don't like you. You're going to have people that don't agree with what you're doing. But something that I'm reminded of, if you post something on social media and you have hundreds of comments, 20 comments, 10 comments, and 9 of them are great, 100 of them are great, 99 are great, whatever, and then there's one bad one. Which one do we fixate on? We fixate on that one bad one. That's 1%, if that, out of all of the great things. We focus on that one bad thing. And we shouldn't do that anymore. And I'm trying to coach myself to do that, because there may be some people that don't like me or don't like what we're doing here at Rogers, but the majority appreciate it and know that we're here for the good. And I just want to appreciate the majority here that are listening and watching today for your outpouring of support for me and Rogers as a whole. And I just look forward to continuing these conversations, and the community involvement is so important to me, and letting people know what's going on in the community and how we can give back and how we can be kind to one another and be supportive of one another. So thank you. Thank you again. And so for June was much better than May was. And we had some exciting things happen in June. On a personal level, Riley's 5th birthday was in June. She's 5 years old, and I know a lot of you listened and watched her podcast episode that we had her on here. So fantastic. It's amazing to see her grow and become such a strong-willed girl, and I'm so excited to continue to see her growth. And every year I think back to when I was pregnant with her, right before I had her, and then right after I did have her, because we started or took over Rogers Heating and Cooling in 2018, January of 2018, and she was born June of 2018. So she's been with us along this entire journey. I was literally taking service calls on the delivery room table. When I was delivering Riley, I was answering phone calls to every customer that called and trying to get someone out there. I remember after I had Riley, like hours after I had Riley, if that, my mom was like, oh, is Joey going to take off a couple days, to spend with you? I'm like, what are you talking about? He has service calls to run. Like, he better be going to it now. And it's just amazing how far we've come, because it was such a crazy experience. Like, she was brought into this world. Memorial Day usually kicks off summer. I know it didn't happen this year. It's just now starting to get to feeling like summer. But usually it gets very hot starting Memorial Day of every year, and it did in 2018. And I just remember, like, she was brought into the whirlwind of Rogers Heating and Cooling in the HVAC business. And so to see her across the table from me recording a podcast, it's very much a full circle moment. She's been involved in it for so long, her entire life. And it's really cool to watch. So it's super exciting to see the growth. And, each year that she grows, I kind of compare it to how much the business has grown. And, going from answering service calls on the delivery room table to now having a team of people that can support us and support every customer and answer those calls. So in moments like that, we don't have to do that anymore. But super exciting to watch. And speaking of team, June 22nd was National HVAC Tech Day. So I want to take a moment to thank everyone that's in the HVAC industry as a whole, and then especially our team. And I say our team, it's National HVAC Tech Day, but everyone here at Rogers supports our techs, supports our customers, and they're part of this industry too. So I want to take a moment to thank them for everything that they do for the community, for our customers, to make people's lives better. And we had an event on the 22nd, and we called it kind of Rogers Boot Camp, Hype Up, whatever you want to call it. We had an event, we had breakfast brought in, and we did this very hyped up session with everyone. We had each department head speak and talk about their team and how much they appreciate them. We gave away Yeti water bottles and as a gift. And then we had a session, like a motivational session. And the whole meeting was kind of centered around goal setting and how important goal setting is. And we did a whole exercise with the entire team on what their goals were for the remainder of the year, for next year, and then the year after that. And it was so fascinating to listen to everyone talk about their goals and to really see everyone thinking about where they wanted to be. And what I'm super proud of, and I want everyone to start thinking, everyone that's listening to this or watching this, like, start thinking about your goals. Because Joey and I, we always say the number one word that's used at Rogers is growth. We always talk about growth. And it's so easy to talk about, but what does growth mean? What does it look like? What does it really feel like? And when you really start thinking about that, it's like, wow, like, I've got to work really hard to achieve these goals, or where do I want to be? And am I aligning with where I want to go to and where I want to grow? And so we started having those conversations with our team on a regular basis, and then to sit everyone down together and talk about them. Joey and I go to a lot of places, and we talk to other organizations and schools and all these places about goal setting, and then to sit down with our entire team and talk about it. We go to many places and we're like, do you know where you want to be in 3 years? Do you know what your goals are? And some people in the room may raise their hand, but majority haven't really thought about it or haven't been asked about it. What I'm super proud of is, in the moment that we were up there talking about goal setting, I asked the question, how many of you in this room know where you want to be in the next couple of years? Every single person raised their hand. Every single person on our team, that's 30 people, raised their hand and said that they know exactly where they want to be in 3 years. And that is just I'm very proud of that, because that means we're having those conversations on a regular basis and everyone knows where they want to grow to. And so then they wrote it down, and we are going to showcase that in our office so we can all help each other achieve those goals. And it's an eye-opening experience for me, because going back to Riley turning 5 years ago, We weren't having those conversations with our team. We were just talking about growth. We're going to grow. We're going to get so big. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. But we weren't having the conversations with the individuals of where they wanted to grow to and what growth meant to them. And I look back to those years, and I've said this on the podcast before, I wasn't a strong leader 5 years ago. I didn't really know what it meant to be a leader 5 years ago. And so I feel like I've done people a disservice in years past that have worked for us on not having those conversations and not being the strong leader that I knew I could be, and I wasn't at that time. And so if you are listening and you were part of that, like I surely do apologize, because you deserved better. But how proud I am for how far we've come on goal setting and having those conversations and knowing exactly where every individual on our team wants to grow to so we can help them get there. I have many conversations with our team, and I even talk about this in interviews. If you were to come in for an interview, I say it's very important to us for everyone here to grow out of their seat. And by that, I mean, I'm not hiring people that want to stay in the same position for the rest of their career. It's great if you want to do that, but we are growth minded and we are wanting to get to a very high revenue number, and we want multiple locations, and with that comes a lot of growth. And so we want individuals here that want to grow out of their seat, and by that I want them telling me what seat they want. It's so important to talk about what seat you want. Where do you want to grow to? Where do you want to be? I will never get upset with anyone that comes to me and says, I want your seat. It's like, okay, let's go. Let's figure out how to do it. Let's figure out how to get you there. Let's write that path down so we can get you in this seat, because I have other seats that I want to pursue, but I have to have someone fill mine before I can do that. And I want everyone here thinking that way. So really think about that. To all the listeners and people watching right now, where do you see yourself in the next 3 years? It's so easy to maybe think about where you want to be at the end of the year. By the end of the year, okay, I want to achieve this. This is where I want to be. But how about we expand that? Where do you want to be in 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now? When Joey was talking during that motivational segment, he was talking about every decision we make leads us to where we're going to be in the future. And he related it back to losing weight. How many of you have said, I want to lose 10 pounds, 5 pounds, 20 pounds, and it's Thursday and you're thinking about it, and then you're like, oh, well, it's Thursday. I'll start on Monday. Oh, Monday gets here. Oh, I've had a bad day. I deserve to treat myself to this candy bar. Oh, it's been, a bad week, so I'll just start next week. And it's those little decisions we make. And he even said, as far as the alarm clock, if you set your alarm clock for 6:30 in the morning, how many times do you hit the snooze button? You went to sleep the night before and said, I'm going to wake up at 6:30, and you set your alarm for that time. But then by the morning, you've already gone back on your word because you hit the snooze button, and now you're waking up at 6:45 or 7. And so it's those small decisions that we make every day that determine our future. And I had never really looked at it like that. It's amazing to me, the intelligence that Joey has and how motivational he can be in those moments, because it even touches me. It's like, oh my gosh, I've started eating better since that conversation. I'm like, I don't need that candy bar. No, I do not, because I am a prime example of someone that sets, those targets, and I make excuses for myself on why I should have them or why I shouldn't start until Monday. So you're not alone. I'm there. I do it often, but thinking about it the way that he kind of worded it, of like, we are the ones letting ourselves down. We are the ones not achieving our goals that we have set for ourselves because we're going back on our word all the time. So really think about that, and really think about where you want to be in the years to come and how you can achieve that. Are you setting yourself up for success in the decisions that you're making? Is it time for you to make a change? Is it time for you to really buckle down and get serious about where you want to grow to? Because it doesn't matter. It does not matter how old you are, how long you've been somewhere. You can make a change at any time. It's just up to you and if you're willing to do that. So I really challenge you to do that this month and really think about where you want to go. We're halfway through the year. We have a whole nother half to go, and it's going to be great, and you can make it great. So just a little food for thought. That was kind of the biggest takeaway I have in June, is to really sit down, think about where I want to grow, where I want to be in the next couple years, how I'm going to get there, and what that's going to feel like. And by that, how does it feel? It's not going to feel great at all times. It's not going to be easy at all times, but to get there, you have to go through that struggle. So that is my challenge for you this month. Really think about that and share them with me. Continue sharing them with me, like everything, because I love when you all reach out to me, and I make sure that I, respond to every single person, because it means that much to me, so much to me. And again, thank you for all of the support. Next week, or maybe a couple weeks from now, but I'm going to have Joey on here. I know I've had him on a couple times, but this one's going to be a little different. So I'm going to have him on here kind of talking about his goals and where he wants to grow to, and it's your chance to ask us anything. You can ask us anything at all. You can message me on Facebook. You can email me. My email is alyssa@callrogers.com. And you can ask us anything. So if you're listening right now, be sure to submit your questions. There's nothing off the table. I will read them and we will answer them. It could be personal, professional, anything you want to know about running a business or how we do things in our personal life or any of that stuff. You just make sure you submit those questions and we will read them out and we will answer them. And as I get the questions and more questions, I'll bring him in. He doesn't even know this yet, but I'm going to tell him that he needs to be prepared to answer anything. So if you have a question just for him, let me know. If you have a question just for me, let me know. If you have a question for the both of us. And I'm super excited about this. So be sure to make them good. And this is your chance to get to know us better. So I'm super excited about that. And I'm super excited about the month of July. Hopefully it gets really hot out here. That's what we want here at Rogers Heating and Cooling. So we're hoping for summer to finally get here. And I hope you have the best 4th of July. I hope you're safe and, get to see a lot of fireworks and all of that good stuff. And again, I just appreciate you. And thank you again for everything and for listening to the Rogers Radio podcast. And I cannot wait to talk to you next week. Be sure to continue rating, reviewing, subscribing, talking to me in public. I love it. And we will talk to you next week.